All right, on this next dog management project, let's start like we normally do. Let's check out the README. Oh, good, not the standard Laravel README. All right, clone the repo, do this, do that. So basically all the general stuff to set up Laravel, and here's some credentials, and you can also register. So let's look at our database here real quick. See our database. Yeah, it looks like they put in this test user and made a bunch of dogs for that user. That's pretty nice. You might remember I did say in the requirements to start out the list empty. So this will start out the list with dogs in the list, but that's fine. Migration, so they create the dogs table, dog ID, user, constrain, cascade on delete. I generally don't do that. I don't want my data deleted if this user, because I mean, I'm generally going to use soft deletes, and then I want to control every single piece of data. But I understand why people might do this, and this is also a valid way of doing that. String name, I generally want to see like the defaults specified in here as well, because you never know. At some point, Laravel could change the default values, which they have done in the past. And for birth year, maybe make that like a decimal instead. Timestamps are good to go. Factories, we have a dog factory. Fake the name, fake random element of nothing. I don't understand what that would be for. Birth year, okay, so I don't think that that's a good idea. Generally, name could be random, breed could be random, and birth year could be random. So maybe you just want to do like fake name here as well, or something like it, unless it's going to be a specific one. But well, let's just look. You have a breed enum here, so maybe we would do we could do one of the random ones, but generally what I'll do is like this doesn't really matter, so I don't want to have too much random. I would do something like this and do that and have value, because I just want a value in there, and I want it to be a known value of one of my enums. I don't want to mess with anything else after that. So that's probably what I would end up doing. And then if you wanted different values, you can pass that in, or you can make different states too. User factory, looks like typical standard stuff. So let's just check out our tests here. Again, test unit, example test, auth, profile. So this looks like all standard stuff from Laravel. Nothing in there to look at. Again, I didn't ask for tests in this project, and that's a lot of work. I understand that these are very small projects that I asked for these people. I think when you start working with tests, though, you start to get to a point where you can't really make code without them. And I don't know how I would necessarily know that this was a valid working project without having some tests in there. So but that's just me. So look at our user. Doesn't look like it was modified, but we have many dogs. We have our dog here, and fillable name, breed, and birth here. And I'm very glad that fillable isn't user ID. So it looks like this is doing a lot better on this. We have our requests. These are all that, so nothing to do with that. Auth, profile controller. So these are all just standard Laravel things. We're probably want to look at dog controller. Let's close other tabs. Index request. All right. So we're getting dogs. So getting the user, great. Getting the dogs relationship, latest, sorting it by the latest ones and getting them. The only thing that would make this better would be some sort of pagination, but I didn't ask for that. And so this is great. This gets all the users' dogs and sends them over to that view. The view create, excellent. All right. So again here, want to have form request validation if we can, but otherwise this is good. What's nice here is there's new validation functionality inside of Laravel, which I believe we should be able to do something like rule enum breed class, something like that is in there. I haven't installed the Laravel thing, so there's no autocomplete in here right now, but that's how you can do that. You don't have to actually go and get those values out of there. And then if we're validated, we create the user with the validated data, perfect, and then redirect them back to index. So it would be nice to have a success message, but not necessary. Editing the dog using route model binding, great. Is there any policies or any I don't see any policies, and I don't see any validation that this is a dog that you could edit. So this could be someone else's dog. So this is a problem, but I also understand that there's something about like, don't worry about cross dog modifications and all that stuff. But I meant sending dogs back and forth between users, you should be able to make sure that you don't edit someone else's dog. I think I might have said that. All right, so updating this, request, validated, same sort of thing, update it, redirect it, and destroy, delete, etc. So there's no authorization on that, so that is probably a problem. Just take a look at this enum again here. So we have values. I wonder if that's used anywhere. That was using that update, but if we didn't need that in there, maybe it's going to be used in these. All right, yeah, so it's probably used to make these values as well. While I'm here, might as well just take a look at some of this. Even though this is front end, we were talking about back end, we can take a look at some of this stuff and make sure there's nothing that sticks out. You know, I generally pass these values in from the controller into the. I don't want to have to deal with any classes in here at all. Yeah. But I think that's it for this project.